Today's reading, we're going to be reading the epilogue and epilogues before, right? Prologue. We're going to be reading the prologue and the first chapter of Martial World. As I said before, it was written by Cocooned, whose other works are True Martial World, which is an in-world sequel to Martial World, and Godly Thief Incarnation. Martial World is being translated by Hyorinmaru. He doesn't have a social media, but please support his Patreon page at patreon.com/Hyorinmaru. He's very up-to-date with his releases and is very organized with tier-based Google Docs and Dropbox folders. He does a really great job with his Patreon supporters, and this is one of my favorite reads right now. Literally, it releases at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and sometimes I try to stay up just if I'm like really excited about the next chapter. I'll stay up just to get that update to read it. If you just finished Desolate Era and need to fill that void with a great story, Martial World is like over 1,100 chapters in right now. I didn't look how many it has more left, but it's definitely one to check out. Disclaimer real quick. I am an American. I was born in North Carolina and I live in California. I am not a Chinese speaker in any sense of the word. I try my best with the pronunciation of the names. I've looked up different videos and different things to try to say them right, to pronounce them right. Deathblade's been helping me out with that. YouTube's been helping me with that. Usually if I just look at it and say it, I can say it right. But when I'm reading these chapters, sometimes I'll flub a little bit. Today we're going to be using the names of Tian Mingse, Yu R, Lin Ming, Len Yunyu, Zhu Yan, and Lin Xiaodong. Those are the names we're using within these first 2 chapters. The first one, we're also going to be using Mo Eversnow, but that's actually pretty easy to pronounce because it's Mo Eversnow. But yeah, our special guest voiceover will be formed by Carrie D. Lane, who will be playing the voices of UR and Mo Eversnow. You can follow her on Twitter at Carrie D. Lane. So, let's go ahead and get this ball rolling. I'm going to go ahead and set the scene because we're in a snowy place. So let's roll in some snow sound effects. Oh, listen to that. That's some snowy business going on. You know what? Like, this is actually like a really desolate world. So let's get some rumbling in there because tons of things going on. So, this is the first chapter, or this is chapter 0 of Martial World. In the vast and limitless expanse of mist and snow, endless ice shards swirled in the wind and collided in a violent maelstrom. Sub-zero temperatures chilled one's bones to a freezing cold temperature, as if it would turn even one's very soul into nothing but ice. Here was the Snowfall Realm. Within the myriad dimensions of the realm of the gods, it was a bleak and hopeless land of endless blinding white tundra. From one year to the next, there was nothing but desolate snow and the bitter cold. Within these bleak fields of ice, the wind picked up, and dozens of ice shards whistled through the air, revolving and condensing in a vast eddy. Within this current, a shimmering mercurial veil bloomed into existence, and in the next second, a woman in sapphire blue dress emerged. The woman's aura was like that of a regal queen. Her raven-black hair flowed like a river of the purest ink. Every inch of her body exuded an aura of holiness. In this desolate wasteland, it was as if the most beautiful pure ice lotus had fully bloomed. The only flaw in her otherwise perfect features was a thin stream of bright red blood that dripped down from the corner of her red lips. The mercurial veil began to fade, and the woman spat out a mouthful of blood. It was as if this beautiful ice lotus was wilting.
Big sister!
A girl's voice resounded clearly in the crisp air, and a shining white light flew from the woman's body and condensed into the shape of a frantic young girl.
Sister, are you all right? Do not worry.
The blue-clothed woman beckoned with her hand. She had already suffered a grievous wound and had forcefully shattered the barriers of space and time in order to pass through the limitless void and the infinite night to arrive at a different dimension within the realm of the gods. This had caused her previously serious injuries to compound even further.
Where is this?
The sapphire blue-clothed woman asked. The young girl pulled out a jade slip and probed it with her divine sense.
Sister, we've arrived at the Snowfall Realm. Snowfall?
The sapphire blue-clothed female said with a trace of shock before she sighed.
Of the 3,000 worlds within the realm of the gods, I've traveled through the infinite void to countless lands. I fled, but to think that I would end up in the one place I didn't wish to go.
She laughed bitterly.
My name is Mo Eversnow. Snowfall, snowfall, Here I too will fall.
Big sister, we...
The young girl began, but the air trembled and a massive amount of energy poured into the air. In the next moment, space began to be ripped open as if it was torn asunder by a pair of cruel hands, and a black-clothed man walked out from the void. The young girl saw this man, and her complexion greatly changed as her words fell silent. The black-clothed man had an outstanding appearance that was incomparably handsome, only both his pupils were a vivid blood red, which lent him a somewhat savage appearance. He looked at Mo Eversnow and lightly smiled. "Saintess, your highness, we meet again." Mo Eversnow was eminently calm and resolute. Although she'd expected her enemies to be pursuing her, she hadn't expected them to catch up so quickly. The man continued, "Saintess, your highness, I apologize for the events having come this far. It's truly regrettable that your verdant feather Holy Lands was destroyed. As for that, I had no choice. I was helplessly forced to do so. For existences such as you and I, with our cultivations, there's nothing in this world that is beyond our reach. The only thing that you and I desire is to reach the pinnacle of power and to be eternal existences. I would like to request Saintess to kindly hand over the divine magic cube. We can cultivate together and study the secrets of the magic cube until the end of time. How about it?" Mo Eversnow began to revolve the supernatural divine power within herself. She coldly said,
Cease your meaningless words, Xianxia. You may have destroyed my verdant feather Holy Lands, but if you want to kill me, then you'll have to pay the blood price.
"Is that so? Then I'll have to give it a try." The man called Xianxia seemed disinterested. He casually waved his hand and an ancient pagoda appeared in his palm. This was the catastrophic spirit treasure, the God-sealing pagoda. It was capable of sealing gods and binding demons, as well as being a vessel that could hold tens of thousands of warriors. Just half a month ago, this man had used this God-sealing pagoda to transfer over 10,000 powerhouses from the realm of the gods, and had suddenly appeared within the verdant feather Holy Lands, leading to its ultimate destruction. Xianxia threw the God-sealing pagoda into the air. Golden lights sparkled outwards and 10,000 powerhouses appeared in the world of snow. The entire sky was completely covered with ominous shadows. Over 10,000 people stood in the void, casually staring with indifference at the two women that were isolated and helpless within the endless expanse of ice. Mo Eversnow saw this, and the corner of her lips panned upwards in a condescending sneer. She had been waiting for this moment. Netherworld Holy Land, Primordial Universe Holy Lands, Ancient Laguna Palace, Crimson Blood Demon Island. Since you plotted together to destroy my verdant feather Holy Lands, then today, even at the cost of my own soul, I'll bury you all here. Xianxia said, "Mo Eversnow, I respect you and admire your strength and talent that defies the will of the heavens. But now you've been seriously wounded. In face of these 10,000 powerhouses from the realm of the gods, you have no chance of winning. I'll give you one path. Surrender the divine magic crystal cube here, and I will let you and your sister leave alive." Mo Eversnow ignored him. Her mind stirred and a 1-inch gray cube slowly appeared in her hand. The gray cube was entirely covered with black inscriptions. This was the object that had caused such turmoil throughout the entire realm of the gods. The divine crystal magic cube. Mo Eversnow poured all of her supernatural divine power into the divine crystal magic cube. Although she had been in possession of the divine crystal magic cube for less than a year, she'd still been able to perceive some of the esoteric secrets contained within. Perhaps the legends were true, and this was a crystallized soul left behind by a fabled true god that had fallen from the heavens. It had the terrifying power to crush the soul of any existence. However, with Mo Eversnow's strength, she was still unable to control the power. If she tried to, even her own soul would be devoured by this divine crystal magic cube.
You are? Don't resist.
Big sister!
The young girl didn't know what Mo Eversnow was planning on doing, but at this moment her entire body became covered in a layer of light. This light broke through the void and sent her away. First, Mo Eversnow had to send off her little sister. This was because once the forbidden power of the magic cube was unleashed, every single soul around would be sucked in and shattered apart. This was also the reason that she hadn't used this forbidden power within the Verdant Feather Holy Lands. Haha, you want to send off your little sister? How could I let you do as you please? Tianmingxi's hands twisted together, forming countless seals that would freeze the void within a 10-mile radius. But at this moment, his expression changed. A terrifying power seemed to be condensing within the divine crystal magic cube in Mo Eversnow's palm, causing him to feel a soul-trembling fear from the core of his very being. This is... Tianmingxi's heart raced, and his seal-forming patterns changed. He sensed a life-or-death crisis heading towards him. Heaven and Earth Yuan Qi went wild in that instant. A massive vortex of energy appeared above the divine crystal magic cube.
With my soul as a guide, let me borrow the power of a true divinity! Soul extinction!
Mo Eversnow calmly and coldly spoke these words. In the next moment, her body was transformed into dazzling specks of starlight. Her soul and consciousness were turned into streams of light that were completely absorbed into the divine crystal magic cube. Seeing this, Tianmingxi's expression changed. Without any hesitation, he hastily ripped open the space around himself, attempting to escape. But at this moment, the terrifying energies within the divine crystal magic cube erupted outwards. It was as if a star itself had exploded, and all of the space around, like a thin strip of paper, was torn apart. The 10,000 powerhouses of the realm of the gods had just arrived in the snowy world, only to come face to face with a life-or-death crisis. Those that had the ability to pass through the worlds tried to escape through the endless void, but it was too late. All of the surrounding space was instantly dismantled, and the surrounding massive storm sucked them all in like scraps of paper. Their bodies were turned into dust that vanished, and their souls were shattered into fragments within that storm before being absorbed into the magic cube. An enormous swath of space of the Snowfall realm had been twisted into an utter dead zone. This zone was flooded with space storms that were capable of destroying anything and everything. As for the divine magic crystal cube, it swallowed all of the soul fragments before it was sucked into these space storms and into the endless void.